So this is Game of Thrones news for the past week-ish. I have a really bad cold right now, so if this video lacks enthusiasm or if I talk really weird, it's just because I'm on really heavy pain medication. Cold medication. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So Game of Thrones begins filming in a few weeks, and we've already seen actors arriving in Northern Ireland. Nikolai, Maisie, and Sophie all stopped for fan pictures as well. Gwendolyn Christie was spotted flying into Northern Ireland, and Isaac tweeted that he was in Belfast. And as they all have their Season 7 scripts already, this is likely just a read-through to prepare them for filming, which begins in September. There has been some leaks, though they aren't confirmed yet, that Daenerys will be at the Dragon Pit, a now ruined building that used to hold the Targaryens' dragons, in Season 7 of Game of Thrones. Which means if this is true, Daenerys will definitely be in King's Landing for Season 7. Let's move on to some casting rumors and news. And I'm going to read these right off the sheet because I don't want to mess these up. So going through the casting, a white priest in his 60s with a British received pronunciation accent for a week of shooting September 22nd. The RP accent likely means they are for King's Landing scenes or scenes with upper-class individuals not in the way north or south. A gate guard in his 20s who is described as confident, characterful, straight-talking northern lad with a great face to play across a very excellent series of scenes. The gate guard will film from mid-October to mid-November. A white general aged 40 to 55 who is a senior military officer for a week of shooting September 6. He must use an RP accent. A non-white Middle Eastern descent lieutenant in his 20s and is set to shoot across 3 weeks between mid-September and mid-November. A city guard in his 30s who encounters a person of interest on his nightly patrol. He will shoot for a week in mid-October and must have an RP accent. An attractive young courtesan, who has a good speaking part and has full nudity. So if you just can't get enough of those naughty boobies we're supposed to hide, you might like her role. She is scheduled to shoot for 1 week in early October. A white warrior between the ages of 35 and 45 who is great at fighting and has a lot of dialogue who has a neutral English accent. He will shoot in October. A merchant in his 40s to shoot the first week of November. His appearance isn't specified like the other castings, so this may be for a location Daenerys arrives at. A white young lord in his late 20s who is handsome and has an RP accent. He will film the week of September 20th. There's also rumors for casting for a mixed-race newborn baby under 10 pounds for filming between September 5th and 9th, and a male missing his teeth aged between 30 and 60. On to the actors. Maisie had a series of tweets after she read her Season 7 script, and it may have gotten me a little excited. She tweeted that shit is going to get real for us to start preparing ourselves now. Scratch that. Nothing will prepare us for this. If this was Sophie tweeting this, I would be more likely to dismiss it and just be like, this is her normal nonsense that she talks every season. But Maisie saying this gives me a little bit of hope that this is going to be an awesome Season 7. Maisie also did some interviews where she said some things worth repeating. First, she's now changed her story from a few months ago where she said she didn't want the Starks to reunite. Now she's saying it would be wonderful for Arya to meet up with the other Starks. So I take back my statement I said a few months ago when she originally said she didn't want Arya to reunite with the Starks, and Maisie, you no longer have to shut the hell up. I'm sorry. I get very emotional about my Stark reunions. Maisie also said that she really hopes that Arya meets up with either Melisandre or Cersei and crosses another big name off her list. As well, Maisie praised Dan and David, the showrunners, for standing their ground and telling HBO, no, we won't be doing any more episodes or seasons past what we already plan to do. Everybody's favorite, Kit Harington, also did some interviews. Even though we saw Jon Snow come back as himself, although a bit upset that he was stabbed to death and found out there was no afterlife, Kit Harington did confirm that Jon did in fact come back as himself, as the Jon that everyone knows, which Kit found a tad disappointing, but he stated that knowing there is no afterlife is what quietly drives who he is and what he wants to do from now on. He also didn't know if he would be coming back as himself or as a villain until 2 weeks before filming. The scene where he comes back to life and gasps was shot about 1,000 times according to him, which he got very bored with, but understood why they had to do it. Kit also told The Wrap that a few times while playing Corpse Jon Snow, he fell asleep during filming, and then he would wake up again in the middle of the Game of Thrones world, and he said that was absolutely terrifying. In an interview, Sophie Turner revealed that most of the cast knew there was always only going to be 7 or 8 seasons, so for the most part, for quite a few years, they kept their mouths pretty shut about that, so kudos to them. Besides that, her interview was pretty just generic things she's already said, but I will put links in the video description below of all the interviews I'm referencing here so that you can check them out yourself. The beautiful actress that plays Cersei had some things to say, and when she was asked about whether Cersei had anything left to lose, this is how she responded. She's so tired at this point, so tired of losing, of her heart aching, that she's just going through the motions. The point with Cersei is her utter will to survive, to achieve validation that she is something. That she has nothing left to lose is not something she considers. She also talked about the look between Jaime and Cersei at the end of the season. She explained, "The thing that gave her humanity was her kids. Now they're gone. Her father is gone. Her brother Tyrion is gone. There's no one to tell her she can't, she's stupid, she's just a woman. I think when Jaime looks anything other than happy, she has a fuck you moment. This will be such an interesting season for them. Where do they go? It's so toxic now." And of course, D&D have their own opinion on the looks between Jaime and Cersei at the end. The glare from Jaime was him realizing that his entire world had changed, and that though he knew she was capable of making big plays, that he didn't realize she could make plays on this level. The glare Cersei gives back is her letting him know she's always been in charge of the relationship, and now she really is. The showrunners are also excited to show us who Cersei is without her children next season. The showrunners also talked a little bit about the Night's King and how they will never give him any dialogue and they've never been tempted to, and that the Night's King represents death and death coming for all the characters, and what would death say? Lastly, and this honestly has no bearing on anything, but I don't know, I found it a little shocking. In the Game of Thrones party poll, Jon Snow has 34% of the vote, Peter Baelish 33%, and Daenerys 32%. I mean, really? Littlefinger is in second place? What is wrong with these people? So that is Game of Thrones news for the past week. I will always do one of these videos when there's enough news, and when I can, make sure you like the video, comment below, share this video. It helps the channel out a lot and justifies me spending time making more videos. And it's fun too, I guess. That kind of helps me justify this as a hobby. So thank you for watching. For sticking to their guns, standing their ground, and telling HBO, no, we won't be doing any more episodes or seasons. Plan what? Fuck. Almost got it, you fucking cold fuckface. I'm just repeating what she said. I have no affiliation with Dave or Dan or opinions on whether we should lynch them, so. I like how aggressive I get on cold medication.